How's it going, buddy? It's been a while.
Good. How you doing, huh?
Doing good,
All right, all right.
you
Oh,
know. Working and stressing and working and stressing. That's about life.
yeah. Same, 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 same.
Bum, bum, bum.
Let's see. Is this gonna work today?
Yes, I do work today.
No, I'm saying.
Obviously.
No, is this okay? It worked. Last week I
Oh,
was
it
trying
worked.
to,
Okay.
yeah, trying to get. Last week I don't
I
know
was
what was
like,
going
yes,
on.
I don't wear this shirt for fun.
You do. No, last
No,
week
I
when
don't.
we were talking, I was trying to get the news on one side and like you on the other, and
Oh,
it
is split screen working for you?
it wasn't. It was like every time I do it, I would start with like the FaceTime call. I'd put it over here, be fine. I go to select what I want on this side, on the right, and it instantly puts it up, and then the picture this goes away, and that goes full screen.
Yeah. I remember you were having that problem a while ago.
So I don't know. I don't know what happened, but it's working now, so it doesn't matter.
Good. I haven't tried that on mine yet. I don't remember how to do that. Oh, well. Bum, bum, bum. So what was that stuff that you sent us earlier? I literally haven't got any time this morning to sit down and really look at the stuff and relax. You wake up, you work out, you take a shower, and then you podcast.
Yeah, life.
Life.
First was the poster for the I guess announcement of Oppenheimer.
Ah, yes. Okay. Christopher Nolan thing.
Yeah, with a shit ton of people in it.
By shit ton, do you know who?
Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., Kenneth Branagh, like just a ton of people in this movie. I'll see.
Emily Blunt, Matt Damon,
Yeah,
Florence Pugh? Poe?
Yeah,
Poe.
Poe.
That's cool.
It's
That
like
is a lot of people.
almost all of like the MCU with sprinklings of like DCU in there. And no one's like, let's do it. I don't care.
Like, based off the picture, it almost looks like some sort of superhero movie.
Yeah, I know, right? It's weird, dude. I was like, what the hell? It's based on a book about him, apparently. If you go to the Wikipedia page, it tells, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a biography of him, but it was like it's based on this movie is based on the book about him, I guess is the easiest way to say, versus like a straight up like adaptation thing or whatever.
It's interesting. It says that it was written for the screen and directed by Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Interesting. For those who don't know, actually, I think his full name is Robert J. Oppenheimer or J. Robert Oppenheimer. Anyway, Oppenheimer is one of the main leaders of the Manhattan Project, which is the invention of the nuclear bomb during World War II. If I recall right, he's the one that had the famous quote from the Hindu Bible of oh shit, what was it? Basically something along the lines of like, I have become death, the destroyer of worlds, or something like that, when they set off the first nuclear bomb. And I haven't seen anything about him. I've never read any biographies or anything about him. If I recall right, he was like a really big like philanderer, like an adulterer. He like had relations with his best friend's wife at one point. So he's kind of a scumbag. He's like apparently a really brilliant scientist and kind of a scumbag.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what this biography paints him as.
Yeah, the book is called American Prometheus: The Triumph and Tragedy of J. Robert Oppenheimer.
J. Robert Oppenheimer, yeah. I couldn't remember if his first name was J or if his middle name was J, because I've always heard him as Robert Oppenheimer, but it's J. Robert Oppenheimer, yeah. Anyway, should be interesting. I mean, it's written by Christopher Nolan. Comes out next year, right?
Yeah, literally a year from today.
Yeah, 7/21/23 is when it's supposed to come out.
So I was like, all right.
That's cool.
And it just happens to be that today is the first day of Comic-Con. So today, today as of recording is the first day of San Diego Comic-Con. When this comes out, it'll be the second day of San Diego Comic-Con.
It'll be also interesting to see how much they go into the Manhattan Project and some of the messed up stuff that had happened with that. A lot of the stuff is me trying to remember things that I've seen bits and pieces of here and there, but I remember they were testing the radioactivity of whatever material they were working with, and it's like highly radioactive. And they accidentally opened up the casing for it, and basically they called it the dragon's breath, if I recall right. Basically, it's a flash of light that basically instantly irradiated everybody within like a couple of meter radius, and most of those people died within days of getting exposed. Something like that.
Well, that sucks.
So it'll be interesting to see how much they go into his life and how much they go into the experiments and stuff in itself. And of course, there was also the thing about how did Russia get a hold of the information for the nuclear stuff. There were supposedly spies within the Manhattan Project and whatnot. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Great comic book, by
and
the way.
how much they Hollywood it as well. What else did you send?
I sent you the trailer for Mike, the Mike Tyson story on Hulu/FX.
Oh, for a second there, I was like, Mike made a movie?
It might not be FX. That might just be Hulu. I can't remember if it was or not.
It just says Hulu. I didn't watch it. How did it look, and what does it look like it goes over for him?
It looks like it spans a lot of his life because it shows him as a child.
Oh wow!
Shows him as a teenager and everything, and like his hardships he goes through, and then also shows him. I don't know how far it goes into the present, because in the trailer it makes it look like it's kind of like at the end. I say air quotes, end of his career, because it shows the bite.
Mm-hmm.
And then. But a lot of it has to do. I mean, a lot of it's obviously like out of the ring stuff too. Shows about his family, his mom, his wife, or wives. I'm not too sure if there's more than one. But yeah, it's the guy. I didn't look up who's playing him. He does a fairly good job with the voice, without making it sound like like patronizing or like making fun of. Because if you ever listen to Mike Tyson talk, especially earlier in his career, he has a very distinct speech impediment.
Mm-hmm.
That this guy does very well. And then getting someone to play Mike Tyson just in general is pretty tough, because Mike Tyson is a very large human being, and there's a couple shots in this I'm like, well, actually, guy's pretty jacked in there. But you see spacing on his trainer's name. I'll get it in a minute, I think. But it shows Don King is in it. That guy was, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about Don King other than what you see on the like interviews and shit like that from back in the day. Mm-hmm. But he seems like that guy. Like, he seems very much like him. But it goes into obviously like his troubled upbringing and the fact that he was like essentially a career criminal when he was younger. He went to prison, juvenile prison as well as prison. And then I believe it was on if I remember the story correctly, and I could be wrong, and the trailer shows part of it, he's on one of work furlough thingies from prison, and they go to a gym, and he gets enticed to basically start boxing. I could be wrong. I think he might have been out of prison. I can't remember what it was, but something like that, where he basically goes there to help clean up and things like that, and he finds his love of boxing basically getting paid to beat the shit out of people.
Okay. What's interesting about you talking about this, and I didn't want to bring this up because it was a little bit depressing, but now that you're talking about Tyson, another article that had popped up that I'd read earlier today or yesterday from Sports Illustrated, Tyson was doing an interview with a Sean McFarlane from Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson podcast. Yeah. Okay, so it was Tyson's podcast, but it's just one of those really it was kind of a depressing thing where Tyson is like, yeah, man, I don't think I have much on left before I'm dead, before he dies. Like he thinks that he's pretty much going to die really soon, which is a kind of weird and creepy thing for him to say. But they talk about as well, like the types of drugs that he was on when he was younger, and might still do today, because they mentioned that he owns a frog farm where he raises frogs. Anyway, there was a particular type of frog. I'm scanning through the article. I can't remember what it was. During a conference on psychedelics in Miami in last fall, Tyson revealed that he used Sonoran desert toad venom for psychedelic purposes 53 times during his life, and that he died during his first trip from the drug.
Okay. Yeah. So it's actually a mini-series, by the way.
What?
It's a mini-series, not a movie.
Okay. So it's not a movie, or it's just a mini-series. So, I wonder how much they'll incorporate that type of stuff into his... Because at the same time, he was... Like, the reason why he went and did that stuff, if I'm recalling right and scanning through the article, it's like by that time he was already doing other drugs. And he was just like, fuck it, why not do this? And he says he died the first time he did it, but he continued to do it another 52 times throughout his life.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I guess it says that he raises toads as well. I thought that was kind of weird.
Trevante Rhodes is who plays him in the series.
Okay.
And I wouldn't have guessed that from seeing him. I mean, I looked at his IMDb and I've seen the stuff he's in, but I didn't know him by name or face. I was like, I've seen this guy before, but I don't know where. I hate how IMDb doesn't put importance behind who they put, like, as in the cast. Like, why wouldn't you do it by, like, importance of the person? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because somehow in this they rate it sorted by number of episodes, and Carrie Sims, who plays Tyson Entourage, that's all the name of the character is credited for 8 episodes, but Trevante Rhodes, who plays Mike Tyson, is credited for 4 episodes.
Well, it's about him, but it's not about him. You don't want to be too narcissistic,
I guess.
Anyway, I found the line. It's really literally the last line. Tyson, who raises the toads on a ranch in Southern California, said he is a different person after the experience, and that it has improved his life and shifted his perspective on the world. So he actually raises these Sonoran, what are they called? Sonoran desert toads in Southern California. But he also talks about how money didn't really bring him happiness, and he was really just basically messed up for a lot of his life because of the drugs and whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see what this docu-series, I guess you could maybe kind of call it.
Yeah.
Maybe. Really goes into his life and everything. But yeah, if anybody wants to read that story, it's from Sports Illustrated. It's called Ex-Boxing Champ Mike Tyson Believes He Will Die Really Soon.
Okay.
Kind of a headline grabber. That's why I stopped and was like, oh, is this going to be one of those weirdly prophetic things? It'd be really creepy if it was.
Yeah, it's yikes.
What else did you send this morning? Something about John Wick 4?
Yeah, the
Looks
first.
Like they have an image for it.
Yeah, first promo. This is what they. I have that. I'm signed up for that like text thing where like they send you random shit, from like John Wick or whatever. So this is the first image that popped up today. Because obviously we're leaning into Comic-Con again this weekend, so we're probably going to get like a teaser or something for it. But this is the first official image they released from John Wick 4.
It's a really cool, very stylized image. It's basically Keanu Reeves looking like John Wick in the center of a bunch of candles that are kind of blurred out in the foreground and the background. It looks cool. It tells you absolutely nothing of what's going on.
Nah, but who cares? It's John Wick.
But yeah, who cares? It's John Wick.
Give me another gunfight, really sword fight on motorcycles.
Right.
I'm in.
Right. What was the thing that Taj posted about Action Jackson?
Dangerous Passion, which is Action Jackson 2 from 1990. I don't know how he stumbled upon this. Probably fucking someone posted it on Facebook or whatever. But
people get their news.
Yeah. So it's a trailer for a movie called Dangerous Passion, which is essentially Action Jackson 2. And he's like torture theater ? And I was trying to be funny. He didn't really get it. But the movie is terrible. And yes, I have seen it.
I think I've seen Action Jackson 1. Like, it's like the character is very familiar to me, or it sounds very familiar. I think I've seen the first one. I don't think I've ever seen the second one.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good at all.
You also reminded us that Nope is this weekend.
I'm so mad about it too.
Why is that?
I want to see it.
Why don't you go see it?
Oh, because Paige isn't here.
When does Paige come back?
Next weekend. Next Thursday. A week from today.
Some old bullshit.
That's what I'm saying, man!
Some old bullshit.
Some bullshit.
What days do you have off? Saturday?
I have Thursday, Friday, Saturday off.
We can go see it Saturday.
Hey, by the way, we went and saw this. Sorry, bye.
No. I wouldn't say that. I'm not going to get you in trouble at all. I mean, we'll wait until she comes back and we can see it Saturday.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, are you off on Saturday?
Yeah, I'm off Saturday, Sundays right now.
Oh,
so they literally cleared that up with me yesterday. They're like, we will eventually go to that schedule that you wanted your Sunday, Mondays off. But not yet.
That explains Saturday so well last week.
Why?
Because you were like doing stuff actively on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I was confused. I was like, why isn't he at work?
Yeah.
And I was like, because at one point you jumped on Xbox. I was like, all right, it has to be Adam. There's no way. Like, what the fuck, man? But no, it was you, apparently.
No, it was me. And I was being a hermit, kind of, not letting anybody know that I had that day off because I didn't really feel like doing anything.
I don't blame you.
But yeah, for the foreseeable future, I still have just Saturday, Sundays off because they haven't decided to move everybody to the schedules that they wanted. So whether that'll actually happen or not, I don't know.
All right, well, that's cool.
Yeah. Bum. What was the other thing that you posted? Oh, Sandman next week.
Yes. The 5th.
The 5th.
So week from when this episode goes up, August 5th, which is next Friday, or not next Friday, Friday after?
I said it was next week.
So I'm sorry, I messed that up because there's a trailer coming out this week that has a special something that they're going to do next week that leads into the release of the series. I forgot to add that to the stuff because I was going to we're talking about the podcast, and then I didn't send it. So
you got me all hot and bothered, and now I'm frozen.
Sorry, buddy.
I'm cold and not bothered.
Because when I read it, it's like, because Neil Gaiman posted a tweet saying that all 10 episodes will drop August 5th, and I was like, oh my god. And then I clicked on it, and they're talking about like next week, and I was like thinking it was next week, and then I read it after I sent the thing, and I was like, oh, we'll talk about the podcast, and I realized I never clarified what I meant by that. And it was supposed to get a full story trailer, I guess, next week, is really what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I suppose I'll accept that.
That's all it was. And I just sent the new trailer for Don't Worry, Darling, starring Harry Styles, Florence Poe, Olivia Wilde, Chris Pine, some other people in it too. Because, a certain somebody that's in this text chat really, really likes Harry Styles. So,
right. Speaking of Harry Styles,
yes.
Did you hear that he's not in the Blade movie at all? But I'm going to transition anyway to the fact that the Blade movie is getting pushed back. Filming for it is getting pushed back until October.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. You can take your fucking time. But I'm sure we're gonna learn about more of that this weekend with the Comic-Con stuff.
I totally forgot Comic-Con was even this week.
Yeah, everyone did because it's like so low key, but it's just like ramping up. But did you hear about the potential rumor of who the main villain and who's going to play the main villain in the Blade movie is?
I have not.
So it's going to be Dracula.
Okay, so we're just continuing right where we left off. It's going to be the dude from Prison Break, right?
No. Anthony Starr. If the name doesn't...
Oh, it's going to be Homelander?
Homelander. That's the rumor, is it's Homelander. And if they go... So, if I'm not mistaken, there is a story that was a Marvel Knights origin of Blade, where Blade is a direct descendant of Dracula. What happened was Dracula used to go, we'll say, slumming, because at this point in his life he was very well taken care of by his associates that he had working for him. And he liked to go and he liked to be very bad. And he would often murder, rape everything in sight. And that's how Blade was born, essentially. So he is not only a direct descendant of vampire by blood, but apparently by birth too, because his mother survived the attack, and then gave birth. Because it's different. So in one of the origin stories of Blade, his mother was pregnant when she was attacked by the vampire. The vampirism went through, killed her, but mutated and made him a daywalker. Right? I think it's a Marvel Knights one. I could be wrong. In the Marvel Knights one, she is attacked and raped, but doesn't die from the attack, and she gives birth to Blade, but that kills her. And he's born, obviously, a daywalker, but no one realizes it until later on. So that sort of thing. Anyhow, that's I think that's what the story was. So they might be going that way since they are including Dracula so early on in the Blade. But also, that doesn't mean he's the ultimate bad guy. They could be fucking holding that over us for like a trilogy type thing too.
Right.
Like, he could appear in it, but he might not be involved in the movie at all. Other than the fact that he's Dracula.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, man, that's how I would do it, but who am I to say, anything?
And Anthony Starr can play that weird, creepy character pretty well, and also very confident character as well, all the boys.
Yeah.
So, I'm definitely excited to see him do something else, if this rumor ends up being true.
Yeah. So before we go into that, because I do want to talk about the boys, and I haven't finished season 3 yet.
Really? You haven't finished season 3?
I just started it last week when Paige left me to go to Colorado, and I was going to watch more of it, but this week's been really hectic with work and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I plan on finishing it today. I was going to try to finish it this morning, but then I was like, nah, I can't really focus on this morning because I'm way too tired. Anywho, before we talk about that, there's 2 stories I do want to talk about. One is, the first one, we'll go with the shorter one because there's not a whole lot of details on it, but Kurt and Wyatt Russell have boarded Apple's Godzilla Monsterverse series.
I read the title for that earlier, and I hadn't had a chance to actually read the story.
So there's not a lot of details known about what is going to be in this Monsterverse show that's on Apple. Rumors are, early talks about it, where basically it's set between the time jump of the events of Godzilla and Godzilla King of Monsters. So if we all remember, the big difference in those movies is there's a jump of everything, technology and just knowing of Titans exist. After San Francisco is destroyed by Godzilla and Mutos, arguably they did damage on both sides. And the events of King of Monsters, where he basically gets supersized with a nuke explosion. But there's a lot of obviously technology differences in there, but the span of time is like a lot in that movie. So several years. So the rumor is, or the early talks is, this is going to be set in that time frame. So between the first Godzilla movie and King of Monsters.
Okay.
And then it's not said what their roles are, but they have both joined on to be in the show in some capacity.
That's cool. I am sold on that. I love Kurt Russell, and Kurt Russell in like creature monster movies is absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. So and it's cool too because they show. It's funny. The article is from Slash Film, and the picture they have for Kurt Russell, him with a wicked stash. I think it's from Wyatt Earp, or not Wyatt, or from Tombstone, but I can't really tell because the shirt looks weird. But I think that's what it's from. But then you scroll down to the picture of Wyatt, and it's from, which the name again is sliding past my brain. It's Overlord, right?
Okay.
The one with the war movie with the zombies and shit.
Overlord.
Overlord.
I believe. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So it's a picture of him from that. So he's in the army fatigues holding the Thompson. And I love that movie. And I really want to go back and watch it again because it's just so much
really fun. Just over the top.
Yeah.
Like
just
Call of Duty zombie styles. Just yeah.
Yeah. It's just so because it reminds me of Wolfenstein and in Call of Duty, kind of like you know hardcore meshed. It's just so much fun. But yeah. So I saw that. That was pretty cool. So we'll see what we have going from there. But yeah, that was the article, one of the articles that I had saved because I was saving stuff.
Good for you, saving stuff.
Yep. The other one is I did not know this was happening, but there's so much going on with adaptations of book properties that it's not hard to miss this. But apparently, the Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman is being adapted.
Yep.
I just had recently, as of this year, actually read that book. If you haven't read that book, I highly recommend it because it's classic Neil Gaiman. And I say that after reading it. I've always heard about it. Like, always saw like that book cover was always like I think it was, I want to say it was like a dark blue with like a gravestone on it, and it's called The Graveyard Book. I had no idea what it was about, but I never really delved into any of his books for the longest time. And then just like, well, I don't know, when did we read? We both read Good Omens around the same time, which was a couple of years ago.
It was right around, I think I read it just before I watched the show.
Okay, yeah. So, so around the same time, I think I read it because the show was coming. Like, we both talked about the show coming out. We're like, oh, let's check this out. We both read the book around that same time. Watched the show. Show's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, well, I'm gonna read some other stuff, and I didn't. And I started kind of like looking at his other stuff, and I've been a big fan of Sandman for a long time, obviously, and a lot of his other stuff, like his 1607 or 1608. 1608 Marvel stuff, which is like a Shakespearean take on the Marvel Universe stuff. A lot of his other stuff that he's done in comic books, and so I started reading other stuff. Coraline, Norse mythology, obviously American Gods.
Yeah.
What's the name of the? Is it Nowhere?
Yeah, Nowhere.
Yeah, Nowhere, which is like Nowhere is the. If anyone wants to know, like, hey, what's a good book to show you kind of what Neil Gaiman's head is like when it's not evolved in anything that is already existing. You know what I mean? Like like the God stuff, like American Gods, like those gods exist, and his take on that is pretty awesome. But Nowhere is one of those books, along with this Graveyard book, are really delving into what Neil Gaiman does best, which is like fantasticism in the real world. Like it blends, the real world has this like hidden, like
mystical underworld to it.
Yeah, that's just like it's on the brim of like you should be able to see it, but there's something that stops you from seeing it, or you can't see it, that sort of stuff. And it's just this book is just wild, like how much this book it spans. The book is not long, but it spans so much time. But like the things he does in it, and if you do the audiobook, which Joe I suggest because it has Moriarty in it. I think I told you that when I first listened to it. Moriarty from the Sherlock series with Doctor Strange in it.
Okay.
But it's the book. It's fucking wild, dude. Because like you at one point you forget where you are in this book because it just diverges so far from the beginning of the book and the end of the book. Not in a bad way. It's just he brings this new world to it. It's fucking crazy, dude. But it very reminds me of Nowhere, in a way, because of the different worlds you're playing with and like creatures and things like that. But yeah, that's my little rant on that. But yeah, so I guess they're going forward with it. And again, if you ever seen any of the stuff adapted to Neil Gaiman stuff, which is obviously not a whole lot of things as of right now, soon to be.
I've seen Coraline. I've seen
Stardust.
I don't think I've seen Stardust, but I read Stardust.
Okay.
That was the one I was trying to remember earlier when you were listing all the books. I was like, there are 2 books that I read of his that you haven't listed. Stardust was one of them, and I can't remember what the other one was. No, I didn't realize they made that into a movie or anything.
Yeah, it has actually has quite a bit of people in it. But one of the big things is it actually has like Henry Cavill makes an appearance in it, which is pretty funny. But it's a good time if you want to watch it. It's pretty fun. But yeah, Coraline, Stardust, obviously, American Gods, Good Omens, soon to be Sandman, but that's like different media type thing. Nowhere, if I'm not mistaken, Nowhere actually was made into a BBC miniseries.
Was it a miniseries or was it an audio series?
It might have been radio play.
Yeah,
it might have been a radio play. I can't remember. Anyhow, so I didn't know this has stalled and started so many times before. I didn't know about any of these, like the fact that like the guy Henry Selick, the guy behind Coraline, actually wanted to do an adaptation of it. I don't know if he was going to do it stop motion. Didn't say here, but he did the stop motion version of Coraline. Ron Howard at one point was attached to it. Neil Jordan was attached to it at one point. Like all sorts of stuff. But now it looks to be Mark Forrester, the gentleman that has done quite a few good things. One of them is the super sad, and if you've never actually seen it before, Finding Neverland, with Hugh McGregor. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, right? He worked with on that one too? I can't remember what it was. But I know the writer, I think because they said, I can't remember where this article had a bunch of shit in it, but I think it's him and the dude that wrote Finding Neverland are coming back to work together again. But anyways, it's for Disney, which is not unheard of, obviously, for stuff. But I think it's a pretty good fit, really. Because this dude also, the guy who's writing it, whose name escapes him trying to go down the article. Oh, David McGee worked with Foster on Finding Neverland and Life of Pi, which both nodded him Oscar nods. He also is no stranger to House of Mouse, as it says here, because he worked on, co-wrote the studio's Mary Poppins Returns, and co-wrote the remake of Little Mermaid that's coming out sometime. We'll probably get a trailer for it this weekend or something. With Lin Manuel Miranda, who's working on that as well. So a lot of good behind this is what I'm trying to say. Very imaginative people. And this book you definitely can you can trim down to a movie. But I think, and again I say this because it's a book and we both hold books pretty high. Mm-hmm. This would be amazing as a miniseries where you could long form it a little bit more, because there is a lot of really cool shit that you're gonna have to kind of like not do. Because there's time jumps in the book as the character grows up, because it starts when he's a baby and then ends when he's a teenager. But pretty exciting about that. If you couldn't tell from the rambling that I just did.
No, definitely, I'm excited too. Maybe this will be the next book I read. I'm kind of trying to slog my way still through The King in Yellow. It's not a terribly interesting book for me, but I bought it. It was only 99 cents. So I'm still trying to get through it. I'm only halfway through it. Bought this thing back probably about 2 months ago. So maybe I'm just going to give up on it and
that is a long time.
Go do something else. It's not that it's not good. It's just not my cup of tea type of thing.
Not my cup of tea, he says.
And Neil Gaiman work is definitely my cup of tea, especially since the way I really like to consume my books is mostly through the whisper sync, through the audio, listening to it on my way to work, on my way from work. King in Yellow doesn't offer that, so I'm just trying to read it before I go to bed, and usually I get like a page or two before I start falling asleep. That's why I read. I read to help me fall asleep.
Wind your brain down.
Exactly.
Oh, it's this book. I was like, what is that book? I remember you telling me about this book. That sounds fucking weird, too.
Oh, The King in Yellow.
Yeah. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. I know I've talked about it before, and I'm still trying to read it. So maybe I'll quit reading that and go and read this instead, because I really do enjoy Neil Gaiman's books, especially when he does the audio version of it. It just has a very distinct and very, very nice voice to listen to.
Yeah, and he, if I'm not mistaken, he reads it. He reads part of it. He narrates it, I think. Is that right? Or is that, I'm thinking of Nowhere. I don't know if it's still on here or not. My new phone, I don't have everything re-downloaded, because I'm not going to re-download if I ever listen to it, because that's just a waste of space.
It really is. Yeah, I don't remember if he just narrates Nowhere or if he does the whole thing.
Book details. Give me the title details. Yeah, so he narrates it, and then there's people who do the voices for other stuff, like characters. So he narrates it, and then the characters are voiced by other people. And one of them is Andrew Scott, who plays Moriarty in the Sherlock Holmes show.
Okay.
And you can tell Andrew Scott's voice, like, right away. It's kind of nuts, because like has this, I guess you would call it cadence, the way he speaks, that like you just hear it and you're like, oh shit, that's Moriarty. So anyways, that was it. That was all I had really, of importance. The other stuff I sent, so there's no reason I didn't save much of anything else. I saved a bunch of stuff, just not stuff to talk on here, because, it's not what we do here. It's not this kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
It's other stuff.
There were a couple of extra things that I had saved. Just
Let's go.
a couple of quick things that we can go over. For those of you who haven't went and seen Lightyear, apparently it's going to be hitting Disney Plus on August 3rd. I haven't seen it. I don't know if you've gone and seen it, but I do kind of want to see it, and I don't care if I wait for it to hit streaming. So August 3rd looks like the day I will be seeing it. It doesn't mention if it's their paid streaming.
No,
I don't know if they're still doing that.
They stopped doing that.
They stopped doing that? Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, it'll just be on Disney Plus August 3rd.
Yeah.
The next thing is Star Wars Andor.
Yeah.
What was this article about? I don't remember. Oh, that's what it was. August 31st. That was pretty much it. And it will get the two episodes like Disney has been doing with a lot of other stuff, where the first week you get a couple of episodes of the show. Yeah. I haven't seen any trailers yet, as far as I'm aware. There haven't been any trailers for it.
I'm betting we're getting one this weekend.
But we might be getting one this weekend. But yeah, that was it. Looks like August 31st is when the first 2 episodes will drop.
All right. I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm. There was one more thing besides that.
Doesn't Paper Girls come out this month too, or next month?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember.
I was looking at a bunch of stuff this morning. I got distracted by some other shit because my brain is all weird. But I want to say the thought of Nope coming out this weekend, and then obviously Comic-Con being a bunch of shit we're going to hear about. But then August 5th, I saw that tweet about from Neil Gaiman, which then got me all fucking excited and not be able to focus words. And I was like, wait, aren't we also getting Paper Girls in August? I was like, is that 2 bomb-ass shows? But then with Paper Girls, though, because it's on Prime, we have to wait for episodes, though, right? Because they don't flat out release all of them, right?
No, I don't think. No, yeah, Amazon doesn't flat out release all of them. It'll be a weekly thing.
Oh, fuck.
What?
Premieres July 29th.
Oh,
So
in a
next
couple weeks.
week.
Next week. By a couple weeks, I meant next week.
Yes, you mean a couple weeks because you knew that last week.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm just dumb, so you're like trying to make me feel good.
Yes. This is Joe from the past and the future.
I'm so confused.
To the future.
How much time do we have?
We got about 15 minutes.
Okay, so The Boys Season 3. Now, again, I haven't finished it yet. I'm sorry. I'm a piece of shit. But
We've been really falling off on talking about shows live. Like we haven't even mentioned Obi-Wan at all.
I thought we did talk about Obi-Wan. Oh, no, we didn't.
No, we haven't talked about
Oh,
Obi-Wan.
my God. We're so behind. Life
We're
is so
behind
difficult.
and stuff.
Anyhow.
Anyway, so let's catch up with The Boys, which you have not finished, but I have finished.
So I binge watched 6 episodes in a row last weekend. How do I put this politely? Holy fuck, dude. What is... Are they trying to get canceled somehow?
No, they're literally trying to find the limit of human decency that they're allowed to get away with.
Bro.
That's what they're trying to find.
The opening scene, well, actually, the first part of it with Termite in the very first episode.
Yep.
What the absolute hell, dude.
Yep.
Wowzers. Did not expect that at all.
Fun fact about that: have you seen that actors who played Termite's Twitter page?
No.
That was an actual large replica that they made. That's not CG or anything. They actually made a giant penis for him to crawl into.
Of course they did. Because how do you
Yeah.
CG that?
I mean, I don't know, magic and blue or green screen. I don't know, but yeah, it's an actual practical effect. I mean, not the whole effect, obviously, but just like the scene where he crawls in is that's an actual set piece that he crawls
So
into.
fucking hilarious, dude. And oh my god, when he fucking sneezes.
Oh my god! When he sneezed the first time, I was like, "Oh, you're not going to do this! Don't! Oh, they did it!
Yeah.
All right, I need to recover from that."
I was like, what? Like,
Yeah,
if you go back and you look at episode or season 1, there was some gore, like when he blew up the invisible guy, right?
yeah. When he blew the invisible guy, when Huey's girlfriend gets run through by A Train.
Yeah, like there's a bunch of that. Season 2 ramped it up quite a bit, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But season 3, man, they're
trying to find the limit, man.
Bro, dude, I'm telling you, it's wild how much they're like, how fucked they are making things in the greatest way possible. Like they are truly testing on how much they can get away with before, like, someone from the decorum police comes and like tries to shut them down. Like the Council of Karens just comes storming in or whatever, because like, dude, bro, the octopus scene at the fucking Herogasm.
God, right?
I was like, what? And then when he's escaping and he has it in a bag, I was losing my mind.
Right?
I was like, what the fuck, man? But like
But then you have fucked up scenes where Homelander makes him eat
an octopus.
his friend,
yeah,
the octopus. There, you see A Train just drag whatever that asshole superhero's
Blue Hawk
face, Blue Hawk, just road rash him and kill him. You haven't even reached the end yet. And then I absolutely love Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
Like, he embodies that role so fucking well and is just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
As well. Like, he's literally the first Avenger, quote unquote. Although I can't remember, what was the name of the team that he had? It was... I can't remember. But yeah, he's just a fucking asshole the whole entire time. Although I think it's funny too that they explain in the show, you're 6 episodes in. How many episodes were there? 8?
Yeah, there's 2 left.
So you've already hit some of the points where they've explained that he really wasn't a hero in World War II, right?
There's a scumbag, yeah.
Not only that he was a scumbag, but think of Captain America's arc, where he started out as just a poster boy, but really wanted to go fight and actually went and fought. Whereas for Soldier Boy, all he was a poster boy. He never went and fought the Nazis. So you find out about that stuff. Have you reached the scene where he's banging the 2 old ladies and calls them fine wine?
No, but I'm excited about it now.
Okay, sorry. It's so hard to remember where some of these scenes happen. Dude, Paul Reiser just showing up.
Dude, Paul Reiser was amazing.
Was amazing.
Paul Reiser cursing and talking about banging everybody in sight made my heart grow 4 times its size.
Right?
And then when he takes the leg off and he's gonna shove it up. He's like, "I'll shove this up your ass" or whatever. I was like, "Bro, can we get a show with him? Like, right? A spin off? Like, just give me 6 episodes of Paul Reiser talking dirty about banging old stars,
right?
Like, and just doing coke. Like, what the fuck, man?
It was so good. God, what else? I mean, Homelander in this is just getting more and more psychotic and weird and just fucked up.
Yeah.
Just so they're really leaning into like the showrunners. I've even read it themselves. Like they're leaning really into like taking real world politics and stuff and incorporating it into their show, but doing it in such a like a overdone and fucked up kind of way. And it's just like, yeah, I could see that. I could see people being like that in real life if they really were like superheroes like this.
Yeah, it's definitely a real hard look at what like how our society has devolved into to hero worship and mass media ridiculousness and just like every little aspect of like just Hollywood life and just in general. Because like the whole thing is like I love the fact like season 2 and 3 both like kind of centered around the whole making of this movie.
Yeah.
And like they at the events of like because they made the first movie or well one of the movies, not the first movie, but obviously first of the movies we saw them making in the first one, and then it comes to the second one and they use what happened in their real world in their movie because they're superheroes obviously, right? So and then Charlize Theron as fucking what's her face at the end in the footage of the movie at the beginning made me laugh.
That's right. What was she? What
she played the Nazi lady. What's her face? The electricity lady that turned out to be a Nazi who was fucking.
Dude, even that scene. I don't even remember what scene that was in season 3 where she's lying there dead and just burned up and just jerking him off.
Yeah.
It was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude.
I totally forgot. Like, there's so much shit that happens in this season that I totally forget about some things that happened early on because it just keeps ramping up. Because she even just gives up on the world and dies.
Yeah, she bites her own tongue off.
Yeah, and dies, and it really fucks up Homelander. As much as we said about the fucked upness about this season, there are a lot more serious tones to it, and there's at least one redemption arc, at least with Queen Maeve. You haven't hit it yet, but you should be starting to see it. You know, we've kind of gotten the idea of this whole entire time where she obviously doesn't like Homelander.
Can't imagine why.
She becomes more prominent in this season, trying to stop him. So she kind of has a redemption arc at the end here. Not going to spoil it for you at all. Going to try not to spoil it for you.
I'm going to watch it today, so.
Well, I'm not going to spoil it. So, anyway. The ending was a little weird because they build up to a very big fight, and you do get a big fight, but the way it ends was just kind of like a little weird. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I really enjoyed this season. I can't wait for more seasons, more fucked upness and whatnot.
Have you watched any of Diabolical, the animated show?
No, I haven't. It kept recommending it to me every time I finished an episode, but I have yet to go back and watch it.
I have not watched either. I was wondering if you checked it out. I saw the clip they put online.
What is it about? I know it's obviously about the boys, but like, what is it about?
So it's kind of like stories within the stories. So a lot of it focuses on like other hero or other super powered people within that world. But like a lot of it is like like damage control from what happens with the Seven. And the main core superheroes, they show up in it. Like they will like I think the clip I watched was like Homelander like telling all these security guards they're doing a great job, like kind of being the face of like, oh, you know, you're doing a great job, thanks for protecting the people we can't get around to, blah blah blah, all these things like that. But like, yeah, dude, it's just like it's stuff that you couldn't like. I can't say it's stuff they couldn't do in the show because they do some fucking weird shit in this show, like exploding someone from the inside out, type thing.
Hero-gasm. We haven't even mentioned hero-gasm at all.
Yeah, like so basically, it's all stories. Every episode's like a standalone story, but it all has to do within the universe of the television show, and it doesn't have like a set of one character that it goes by. It just has. There's a bunch of people, different people that are involved in it. Yeah, it's just another way for them to expand on the fucking randomness and bizarre shit they do. Like I pulled up the Wikipedia. The first episode is called Laser Baby's Day Out. And then the second one is an animated short where pissed off soups kill their parents. I'm Your Pusher. Boyd in 3D. BFFs. Nubian versus Nubian. John and Sun He. 1 + 1 = 2. And that's it for there.
Okay.
So, it's, like I said, it's all different stories, but they're written by different people. Like the first episode is written by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, who obviously helped create the show.
Mm-hmm.
The second episode is written by Justin Roiland and Ben Bayouth.
Nice.
You have Garth Ennis writes one of them. You have Aquafina writes an episode. Aisha Taylor writes an episode.
Wow.
Andy Samberg writes an episode. So yeah,
Wow.
It's a lot of things, and it's just I don't know. It's just this thing where they're like, hey, let's see what else we can do. And obviously Garth Ennis is completely on board with them doing things because the show is obviously diverged somewhat from the comic books, but this is like him even writing an episode of the cartoon to go along with this is just showing you how much like he must be loving the shit out of this.
Yeah.
Because he loved what like with what Seth Rogen and what's his name did with Preacher, which is another one of his properties on AMC, and obviously this led to them making this, and obviously they're doing a fucking bang up job of it because it's amazing.
Yep.
Like it is definitely not your something you're gonna watch with your kids unless your kids are over the age of 21, and even then it might be
watch it. That
real
might be awkward.
Yeah, like real rough to watch with your parents for sure.
Yeah.
No matter the age.
Nope.
Like I have like if I had pictures of my relatives up where in the room I watch this in, I would flip them over. I don't want photocopies of their eyeballs seeing what I'm watching. Like I would.
It's really that awkward sometimes. Yes.
It is. It's so weird, dude. Like that whole hero-gasm, I was like, this is uncomfortable for me to watch. And
Right.
that's not even the whole like tentacle penis thing at the beginning. I'm just talking about the random shit. Like when the guy makes the ice dildo and just shoves it in that lady, I was like, okay.
Opens that door and just gets covered.
Dude, oh my god. When that first happens, like, and then he goes to open the door and like it just, I was like, this can't get any better. And it's just so good. Yeah, it's fantastic. I highly loved it. I mean, I loved seasons 1 and 2, so I knew I was gonna like season 3. But dude, that first episode, bro, dude, if you don't show anybody anything else, but you show them the first part of that episode 1 of season 3, first off, they're gonna be fucking lost, but also they're gonna be like, you can't have that on TV, right? I'm like, well, clearly you can. Clearly. But yeah, man, just I love it. I wanted to talk about it so much.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. All right, I think that's it.
Yep.
For this week's episodes.
Yep.
Well, I guess we'll just wrap it up. This has been Comes Naturally. We have been
Joe.
I have been Cody, and as usual, you fuckers just came naturally.
Bye.